What's up, guys? Wyza here. And I got secret spies on EA. An interview was conducted between IpodKingCarter and Rex of EA. And what EA doesn't know is the questions were sent by me. So, these are some of the questions that you guys wanted answered. I've been hearing these questions over and over for the longest. And finally, we got questions answered. Now, some of them may be a little PC, but I think that some of the answers that Rex gave were very, very good and very informal. And you guys are going to have a lot of your questions answered. Now, after each question, I'm going to come in from behind and just come in from behind. I'm going to come in from behind and just give my thoughts on his answers. Now, I keep telling you guys, if you're new here, subscribe. I'm going to keep trying to give you guys Madden 16 news and info, whatever I could get my hands on. You guys are going to get it here first. But yeah, here goes some answers to your questions.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy IpodKingCarter here. I know everybody has been talking about Madden 16. Everybody has been hitting me up on Twitter. I'm here with Rex from the dev team. It's time to get some questions rolling. I've got a couple questions from Twitter, and we're going to try to get them answered here today. First, Rex, introduce yourself.
My name is Rex Dixon. I'm in-game creative director on Madden NFL 16.
All right. And with that being said, let's get into the first question. Fans have been up in arms about team play mode. Is there any chance that returns to Madden in the near future?
I think so. The thing with team play mode, the telemetry data really didn't show us that a lot of people were playing that mode. In fact, it was one of the least played mode, and the cost of maintaining that mode was pretty high. So we choose to invest mainly in the modes that people are playing. The other thing about team play mode is we feel like if it's not like done right, like done to a AAA quality, then it probably shouldn't be in the game. We didn't feel like that mode was AAA quality. So until we can feel comfortable investing in it and making it a AAA experience, that's when we'll bring it back.
Okay, I'm going to go on ahead and say that I agree with Rex there. Whereas in a sense of you have to have that mode be like a huge success if they're going to be investing money and keeping the servers open for that particular mode. It has to, the risk has to be worth the reward. Now, it wasn't as big as a lot of people think, even though it does have a very niche audience. The thing is that I think EA wasn't really gravitating towards this. It was actually starting to get legs, and people were starting to play in it. Now, is it something that could be as big as just playing head-to-head matches or Ultimate Team or things like that? Not even close. But I can understand why they would take it out, if it's just not worth it as far as what they have to pay. Now, if there was a very, very bigger audience playing it, then yeah, you get it back in there. But I think that they should have gave it one more year just to see how many more people was going to be joining in and then make a judgment. But I can't fault them for their thought process behind it. I think that was the perfect answer.
Understood. Next question. I love the aspect of player mode and connected careers. Is there any chance we can get more personal depth or story to that player, or can I get a more of an attachment for the player?
I think so. I think the Madden team needs to look back a little bit at NCA and their Road to Glory feature, which kind of felt like a unique mode, whereas Madden, it kind of feels more just like, a very similar to the main CFM mode. So I think we need to do a better job of providing enough unique custom elements in that mode so that it feels like a completely different experience than the other modes. And it's something we're definitely very high on, and you could be seeing in the next couple of years.
Okay, I like the answer that was given here. It definitely gives us hope that they're actually thinking about what to do with the mode in order to make it unique to the regular connected franchise. Because as he said, it pretty much does lump into what connected franchise is and is not different at all. And just to see that he's already thinking about how it was in NCAA, which wasn't really all that much different, didn't really have much of a story to it. But just to see that they're actually considering doing something more and doing something unique to that mode, I'm on board with it. I'm definitely on board with that.
All right, for the next question. Don't want to ask many gameplay questions, of course, but it seems like a couple people's Y button doesn't work. Now, for that, could you tell me why certain people get a certain animation every time they press it when they're going for an interception?
So with ball hawk, the Y button mechanic on defense, if you're out of position to make a play on the ball, in other words, if you're too far away, you need to switch to play receiver. Because if you try to go for a pick and the receiver's got position on you, your guy's going to play a catch like this behind the receiver and he's beaten gone. So it's really this year about knowing when you're out of position to make a play on the ball, switching to that square button so you can play receiver and go for a knockout. So what you're experiencing is people using play ball in a situation where they should have used play receiver.
Okay, in this situation, Carter kind of John Lewd the question there. It was mainly supposed to be focused on the lack of animation. I believe the question was more so when you press the Y button, there's oftentimes you're not getting an animation at all. Your guy just pretty much stands there. But in the way that he asked it was as if you press the Y button and you get a particular animation, which would prompt him to answer that question the way he did, which is nothing wrong with the way he answered the question. It's just that the question was asked incorrectly. Now, if we would have gotten the question asked of why do we get no animation whatsoever, then that was more so what I was on board of. And he kind of teetered his answer off into what we are to expect from Madden 16. So he says instead, you know, sometimes if you're out of position, you want to play the receiver. I'm going to be putting that to test for sure. And you guys are going to hear me complain about it if my Y button ain't working.
All right, gotcha. Next question. This one is about Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team has become the holy grail in Madden in a short period of time. Any chance we can get more variety in packs or maybe even team-themed packs?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question that with the popularity of MUT and the way it's exploded the last 3 years, we're basically going to listen to the fans, and whatever their top requests are, we're going to make it happen.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, I could have easily had them ask about pack odds and things like that, but there's no way they would give us a straight answer on that one. So I kind of teetered it toward, can we see more theme packs and things like that? I think that would be a question that would garner a better answer. So yeah, of course, you know, MUT is making them all of their money. So of course they're going to say, you know, we're going to cater to that audience. But that's one of those I'll believe it when I see it things. I'll believe it when I see it.
The MUT community has been vocal this year for coins and cards losing value in last year's Madden, because of course Madden 16 is coming right soon enough. Now they want to know, what can we do to appease the guys that grind in the auction house or solo challenges? Those guys have made MUT their everything daily event. What can we do?
So for us, it's about security. It's all about security. It means that basically what happens is anytime you have like this stuff going on, like gold farming or Bitcoining or whatever it is, or people cheating each other's out of trades or all these other things that go on, the more that EA can build an infrastructure that protects people from that kind of stuff, because the more people start to cheat and game the system, the more the economy goes out of whack. So we're protecting that stuff very seriously, because as long as we can protect all the users from that type of behavior, then the economy stays balanced and you'll get the effect you're looking for.
All right.
I had to throw a question in there just to see. I had to throw a quick little jab. I had to Mayweather them right quick to see if I would actually get a legit answer to that. The legit answer to that is we don't want you to have that many coins because we want you to buy more packs. That's the legit answer. But the answer that was given to us there, I feel as though it was loaded, mainly to make it feel as though, hey, we're trying to protect the players XYZ. That has nothing to do with why they are oversaturating the market with, you know, the same stuff over and over and taking away value from the little bit that we do have. That was completely loaded.
All right, next question. Can we see an upgrade to the draft presentation? Will we ever see Roger Goodell at the podium?
I think anything is possible. I think right now the draft experience in CFM is definitely not our what I would call a shining moment for us, but it's something we're definitely interested in and we want to invest in. So things like the Combine, draft, the Pro Bowl, all these things are on our radar. They're just kind of a little bit further out than our core themes that we want to get to.
All right, that sounds great.
First of all, Carter, you John Lewd not knowing Roger Goodell's name. All right, to me that sounded like, nah. That's what that sounded like to me when they say it's definitely possible. That to me translates to nah. We ain't think about that. But again, sometimes these questions that I'm leaving are questions to plant seeds in their mind, and something that maybe they could just take back to the office and consider putting it on a drawing board and saying, is that something that we could work on in order to, add more presentation to make this thing even more spectacular and things like that. We want to make Madden, or we just want a great football experience, and we also want to feel good while playing it. And, these questions that I'm asking bring a lot of depth to a lot of these modes. So I don't really have anything to say about his answer there, though.
Now, one question that's been very vocal. If there can be a playable combine and connected franchise mode, is that possible?
It's possible. I think it's something we've been looking at for quite some time. But like I said earlier, this dev team is not going to launch something until we can feel we can get it to AAA quality. So I'm not even going to tell you right now that we haven't actually started working on things like that for the future. We call advanced team projects, things that are like long lead, like we know it might take a few years to think about and brainstorm before we get to something solid, but Combine is definitely on our list of those things.
All right. It's nice to know that they're actually considering doing some type of draft combine with these players. I took that question as a kind of a shot in the dark in hopes that maybe they'll give us a little lead, or maybe it'll get, like, a lot of the questions I asked is to get them to start thinking about certain things, or is to get them to start thinking about other stuff that's not in the game and possibly start thinking about putting it into the game. This was one of those questions, and it seems as though they are already considering it. And if you listen, listen to the subliminals, it seems as though they are already working on putting that into place. But it seems as though it's going to be a couple years or a few years down the road. But that's definitely something positive to take home. I like the news on that answer right there. I like that. Now,
next question. Draft Champions has a chance to bring more players over to MUT. Any rewards set up in that mode to do so?
I think right now, we'll talk about that stuff in the future. I think right now, we just want to get the mode out there, see what people think of it, see if it's popular, see if it takes off. If we find that people are playing there a lot, we'll start doing stuff like adding rewards and like, who knows where we're going to go with it. But really, for this year, it's about seeing how people take to it, and if it's popular, we'll extend it in the future.
Honestly, I think if this mode gets too big, they're going to end up taking it out of Madden. If it ends up costing MUT money, which is a long shot, but if it does, I really believe that they're going to take it out, because I think that mode is gonna be pretty dope, and people are gonna be playing it. I know I'm gonna be playing the hell out of it. But yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. And that was also another loaded question to see if they had rewards planned for Ultimate Team. I'll be loading these questions.
All right, now to my own personal question. I play a lot of connected careers and connected franchise mode. Is there any way that we can get a nice camera where it's downfield, normal, and be able to play with all players, even if you're a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, cornerback, lineman at all? Like a quick switch to, stop a situation. Because, sometimes it feels like when you're at quarterback, after you make that pass, it's all up to the computer. It's nothing you can do besides maybe run, get a block if it's all the way downfield. But most of the time, it's just that one play, and then it'll cut until you come back in the game.
Okay, I have zero to do with that question.
Are you talking about player mode?
Yeah, player mode.
Yeah, I think we're going to look at player mode heavily next year. So we're actually we're opening up to our fans in the community, and kind of like, we want you to tell us what you want to see in player mode. We have our ideas, but we want to hear your ideas. I think you're going to see a big investment in player mode over the next couple of years inside CFM.